Vanishing Point is a racing game developed by Clockwork Games and released on the Sega Dreamcast in December of 2000. The game was met with positive reviews, but has mostly fallen into obscurity over the past 15 years. Vanishing Point starts out with a choice of just 2 different vehicles, each with a single heat to compete in. While it may be tempting to grab the Ford Mustang, you'll really want to grab the Ford Explorer and start unlocking cars. I find it somewhat refreshing to play a game where everything is locked. You can see quite a few high-end cars, and some basic transportation grayed out. This immediately gives you a reason to start racing, with the allure of some exotic metal enticing you to progress. After selecting the pedestrian Explorer, the first real issue with Vanishing Point becomes apparent. The controls are really strange. At first, it feels like everything wants to oversteer, but what is really happening is the game has an odd self-centering mechanic. While your instincts will want you to correct the oversteer, you really just need to let your vehicle do its thing. Once you get past the learning curve and trust the controls, you'll find them to be precise and predictable. Unlike a traditional arcade-style racer, there are no checkpoints and you have no real opponents. Instead, you have a set time to beat to progress. The game will tell you you're in a specific position, but it's somewhat arbitrary. Even though some opponents will have arrows above them, it's somewhat pointless and misleading. All that really matters is that you are ahead on time. Beating the first heat will unlock the second, and beating the second will unlock the third. The first heat is 2 races with 2 laps each. However, by heat 3, you are racing 3 tracks with 3 laps each. This brings us to the second issue with Vanishing Point. There are no retries. As first place is required to finish a championship, you could lose it all on the 3rd race of a heat and have to redo all 3 races. As the races can be well over 5 minutes, this can result in 15 to 20 minutes of lost time. There really should have been a retry or 2 offered. It's a bit frustrating to be honest, but despite the unforgiving race structure, this is still a really fun game. The track design here is really solid, with great elevation changes, a variety of turns, and a nice flow to them overall. A majority of the fun, however, comes from the traffic. The traffic seems erratic at first, and they can be a little too easy to plow into. But if you pay attention to their brake lights and anticipate their turning, you'll be zipping in and out of them in no time. While the traffic is a common complaint with Vanishing Point, I find their patterns predictable and overall a nice challenge. Vanishing Point's crowning achievement is without a doubt the graphics. While they may not seem like much now, the vehicle models were way beyond anything else at the time and still look good even today. I also like the suspension. Again, it's not realistic at all and certainly dated, but it's still satisfying to watch your car lean and sway through the bends. More impressive is the environments. There is no pop-up whatsoever, no fog in the distance, and everything looks varied and realistic. Even the background objects receive a ton of detail, like moving trains, flying planes, and spinning radar dishes. It just feels like there is considerably more polygons, more detail, and better textures here in Vanishing Point than just about any other game from the time. And it does it all at a solid 60 frames per second. It's absolutely unreal how good this game looks in person. Once you get to the faster vehicles, it's even more insane. In fact, I think it's fair to say Clockwork Games focused a majority of their efforts on making this a gorgeous game, and the gameplay mechanics were definitely secondary. Vanishing Point gets a lot of flack for being a substandard racing game from the infamous publisher Acclaim. It's easy to play this game for 10 minutes and quickly dismiss it as another bad Acclaim game. However, Vanishing Point is a deep racing experience. Underneath the shiny paint and learning curve lies a truly great racing game, one I've enjoyed immensely over the past 15 years. There is just something about an arcade-style racer that makes you earn everything. There is an awesome sense of satisfaction when you finally get through a difficult heat and are rewarded with an awesome car. As Vanishing Point progresses, new environments are slowly added to the mix, keeping things fresh. Existing tracks will be presented in mirrored and reversed modes, also keeping you on your toes. Vanishing Point is just one of those games you can zone out for hours. There are so many new cars and upgrades to unlock, the game never really runs out of steam. While Vanishing Point leaves a bad first impression, it also leaves a lasting one. If you can get past the interesting controls, you'll find Vanishing Point easily fits the definition of a hidden gem. 4 out of 5.